Notion released conditional colors for databases recently, and after having some time using it myself, I'm excited to share about this feature. I'll be going over how to use it, what it is, as well as some use cases that could help you with your Notion setups. If you find this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Let's dive right in. Let's first go over what are conditional colors and how to use them. So to use conditional colors, you first need a database. So I'm going to go ahead and type /database and create a very simple task database. And I'll add a date property for due dates. I'll also go ahead and add a status property for whether or not this task has been completed. So let's say that I have task 1 and I also have a due date in the past. So this task is basically overdue. What I can do is to go to my settings, and then I can go to conditional color, and then here I can start to add the different colors by clicking plus new color setting, and I'm going to base it off of the due date. So if the due date is before and then I put today, then I want it to be in red. So if I now add another task which doesn't have a due date, or if it's in the future, then it doesn't show up as red. So as you can see, having these conditional colors can really help you see things at a glance. And especially if you're someone who's very visual, this can be a really helpful feature to quickly take a look and see which tasks are overdue or close to being overdue. You can also, for example, add the conditional color as the status as well. So if I go to settings, I can do conditional color instead of the date. I can delete this one and make the colors the status. And now if I have in progress, it's going to be blue. And if it's done, it's in green. So that's the basics of conditional colors. There's a lot of ways to use this, which I'll get into in the next use cases that I'll be showing you. The first use case I wanted to show is using dates. So I briefly showed how to use one where you would see all of your overdue tasks in one color, but you can extend this further by assigning different colors to how close you are to the deadline. So let's say that you have a client projects database with a deadline property. So this is a date property, and I want to see two things. One is if it's overdue, and also the other one is if it's in the next week. So if I click the settings here, I can add the conditional color plus new color setting, deadline, and just like before, I can add that the deadline is before and then today. And then I can do red for that one. Then I can add another one where the deadline would be is relative to today, and I want it to be next week. And then I'm going to assign orange for that so that I can see that it's coming up soon. So now let's say that I have another project where the deadline was overdue, then I would see it like this. If I have a project that's, let's say, over a week in the future, then I don't see anything here, so it's in white. So this way I can be reminded of which ones are coming up and which ones are really urgent so that I can keep on top of my client projects. The next use case I wanted to showcase is when you use conditional colors for categories or statuses. So I briefly showed the statuses before, but categories can also be really useful. Let's say you have a task database where you have various tags based on the type of task. So this one is new feature, this one is a bug fix, this one is documentation. Instead of just having this as white with the little tag here, you can also go to this setting icon and then go to conditional color plus new color setting and then choose tag. And it automatically has an option where it matches the option. So the card background is going to match the color that you've set for it already. And that can allow you to see what kind of tasks you have on the task board at a glance. And another thing you can do is that you could add the conditional color where it's not tags, but it's with the status. You can match the option. And this is useful. Move this one, it's going to be in blue now. And then the third use case that I wanted to showcase is using numbers. Let's say that you have a sleep tracker and you're entering how many hours you're sleeping per day with this number, so hours. And this is a sleep tracker. And let's say that you slept 8 hours this day. And I can go to settings and show that number of hours here, that it's 8 hours. One thing you can do with conditional colors is to kind of have a sort of heat map type thing where you can assign different colors to different numbers. So let's say that if it's 8 hours, that's meeting your goal. So you want to show that in green. So you could do conditional color plus new color setting. And for hours, if the number of hours that you're sleeping is greater than or equal to 8, you can show green. And then let's say that you want to show less than or equal to 5 as red, then you could do something like this, sleep tracker, and then we can add that conditional color by going to conditional color, add another, and we want it to be hours, and the hours is going to be less than or equal to, and then we'll put 5, and that one we want to be red. Let's say that it's between 5 and 6, then we can do another sleep tracker. Let's say the hours is 6 and you want to show orange for that, then you can go to the conditional color here and add another. If the hours is less than or equal to 6, then we can assign orange. And then eventually you'll see a nice visual of when you've slept well versus when you're sleeping badly over the whole month. So this would take a lot of time to set up. So I already made one in advance using this kind of idea. So here's one where I've filled everything in. You can see here all of the conditional colors that I've added. So if hours slept is less than 5, I did red. Less than 6, then it's orange. Less than or equal to 7, then it's yellow, and then greater than 7 is green. So it's a little bit different, but similar idea here. And you can definitely use this in a variety of contexts. Like let's say you're tracking how many minutes per day you're reading. You can assign various colors for different numerical values. And finally, I wanted to mention a few limitations with conditional colors. The first one is that you're not able to use it with formulas. So originally I was hoping to be able to use this kind of like with a habit tracker where I would have different habits and then I could see a number of how many habits that I've clicked and then assign a color to it, kind of like I have for the hours here. However, if I put a formula like this, and even if it was to return a number, so I can edit the formula. And let's say that I'm literally only just showing the hours right back. If I go out and then click the conditional color, try to add another one, I cannot find a formula property here at all. So that's something you cannot use with these conditional colors. The other limitation, as you can see when I have this many conditional colors, is that the way that it works is that it goes from top to bottom. So it first checks the top one. If that doesn't apply, it goes to the next one and then the next one. So you can't do things like if you had two different properties where you wanted to do like an and. So if it's greater than or equal to 8, and let's say that there was like another property, the date was a certain date, then you want this color. So you can't combine and make advanced conditional colors. So that is one limitation. I hope that this was useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or unique use cases with conditional colors. I also wanted to mention that if you're interested in Notion setup services or coaching, feel free to book a discovery call with me using the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.